So now we are getting to the business plan, and the plan, if you don't have a business plan and you want one, before you get your notebook, just please send me an email at mk129@cornell.edu, and I will send you the Word document that you can fill in as you go along. I've sent you a paper copy, but if anyone wants the online version, some people like to do paper and pencil. Some people would prefer just doing it on the computer. You can change it as you go along. This particular business plan is the one that is used by the Delaware County IDA. And I like it because it's fairly concise, but it covers all the required bases. So I looked up some notable quotes on business plans, and you've heard these before. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Even if you're using your own financial resources for this project, your plan should be as good as any plan would be to be funded by a bank. I've heard the story before from people that say, well, I'm using my own money. I don't need a plan. I'll just do it in my head. I'm taking it out of my IRA, or I'm taking it out of my 401k. You know, that's your money and you can do whatever you want with it. But at the same time, I've seen people wipe out their 401ks for a project, and had they run it by a bank, had they run it by an IDA, just to see if it was fundable or even feasible, they would have been leagues ahead. So even if you're funding your own enterprise, do the plan and run it by a bank, an IDA, or you know, any other, and one of us, and even the group, to see if it's feasible. So starting a plan like the one in your packet, there are segments to this plan, and it is in order. But my suggestion is to wait until it's complete before getting any permits or spending any money on DBAs or licenses or anything else. Because what happens sometimes is you'll get partway through and you'll say, oh no, I should have done this, or it should be in a smaller bottle, or it should be in a, you know, a different container, or I don't really need this license after all. So it is tempting to jump the gun, but my suggestion is to wait. We talked about making sure that the plan is logical, profitable, and realistic. I'm not saying you have to make money, but most people are here today want to make a little money. If you're doing something for charity, that's fine too, but at least break even maybe. You want to run the business plan by people like we talked about, and there will be time at another point during sessions 5 and 6 to pitch your idea to the rest of the group for a critique. And it'll be a constructive critique, and nobody is going to say, that is a horrible idea. We want people to be polite and courteous, but we also want to, if you have a real concern, you know, you can always say, you know, I'd really like to talk to you about this privately, or if you have other thoughts about their idea. So we want to make it interactive, and we want to make it constructive. And so we'll review a few of your ideas next week, just as a primer to that, so you get the feel for making a presentation, because sometimes you're going to pitch your idea to a bank, and you want to have that, I've done this business plan, I know exactly what my marketing is going to be, I know exactly how I'm going to do this. You want to have the confidence to pitch your idea either to the rest of us, to a bank, or an IDA, because, you know, sometimes it's really nice to get some support locally. So the elements of the business plan. you have the idea, and we've been talking about this idea. That is in the first pages of this business plan. What is your idea and why would it make for a successful business? Who else is doing it? Why it's unique? And how would you do it? What do you need to make it happen? And how you will gauge your success. It asks you certain questions. What type of industry? Is it ag? Is it retail? Is it a service? The location of your business, why it's suited for your business, and your leading advantage. Why is somebody going to buy your product or service over someone else's? Do you have good quality workmanship? Do you have an organic product? Is it cheaper? Is it better? And then who will own and manage the business and what special skills or experience they have in this area of business. So we're going to talk about that right now as, you know, part of the element that you should be able to do at least for homework. Then we're going to talk about compliance. Now this section you can't really do before you have your idea. And even though you might think, well, I'm just opening a small business, it's a small service, I'm just going to, let's just pick something. I'm just going to do some landscaping for people. I'm going to be the only employee. I'm going to go to their places. And what kind of compliance would I even need? Even with simple businesses, liability is a big thing. You could clip the wrong bush. You could destroy something with your truck. You could, you know, anything can happen when you're going on someone else's property. If you put up a sign, we have local ordinances that regulate the signs, or if you're opening up a farm stand, and you have to make sure that you're protecting your visitors. So there is so much with compliance. If you're doing a food product, compliance is like one of the biggest things you're going to have to do. The regulations for even bakers, people who are providing a food product, a beverage, it's all in there. And we will have some presentations on from particular organizations like the Cornell Venture Center and Ag and Markets. So the next part of the business plan is, what is it? The detail on the product or service. Does it come in several sizes? Is it seasonal? You know, soup to nuts, what is it? And then we talk in the business plan about competition, who else is doing it, and how to differentiate your product from someone else's. So it's been really interesting during COVID, and we were talking about it in this room. These masks, now they're like a fashion statement. I mean, I have this really nice red mask that was made for cooperative extension. When I go to stores, I went out somewhere and this lady had on a mask that was very beautiful and it matched her outfit. And I thought, well, did she make her dress too? Or did it come with the dress? You know, it was going through my mind, you know. And then everywhere you go, you can find a mask for $10 and of any kind of pet or logo. All the sports teams have masks. I mean, it has really become an interesting phenomenon that people, if they have to wear a mask, if I have to wear a mask, I'm going to wear a nice mask. The fabric and because I make masks, so I know how much it costs. I would say that you can make a mask for, I don't know, probably under $1. It's the time though. It takes me an hour to make a mask. Somebody else who's better at it than I am could probably make a mask in much less time. You know, cut them all out and then, you know, have an assembly line. I'm just slow. So the thing of it is, it's a need right now, and a lot of people have stepped up. And the sky's the limit with some of this stuff. But I just wanted to use that as a as an example of people have made hundreds and hundreds of masks and selling them for $10 a piece online, all kinds of fabric, all kinds of hobbies or whatever they put on these. And people are buying them up like crazy. So just a thought. The market profile. We're going to have a whole section on marketing in class 4. We have a marketing guru from Ithaca who will be teaching us 3 segments in marketing that everyone will need. It's not like you can make some beautiful masks or a beautiful product, but if you can't market it or if people don't know it's available, you won't have any sales. So he is going to lead us into that marketing education, and he's very good. He's excellent. I see I misspelled strategy, but pricing strategy and sales potential. One thing that I do here as an ag economic development, or a kind of in ag economic development with my farmers, is how much is it costing you to make that 100-weight of milk? And so we go through this process. How much is it costing you to provide the product or service that you are interested in? So what you have to do with this is you have to cost out all your inputs, but you also have to put a, and we'll get to this, but I'm just telling you, laying out the business plan. You know, what's your time worth? What else could you be doing? So we do talk about the opportunity cost of doing this work, or can you make $50,000 at the local factory and not do any of this? Or can I work somewhere else? Can I do some consulting? So you have to put an estimate, and I like hourly estimates on how much money can I make doing something else. Now, if you're a retired person and you say, well, this is all gravy to me, I'm not gonna worry much about my opportunity cost and what else I could be doing. But if you do, it's just good to come up with, I'm making a mask, it's taking me an hour. Am I making $20 an hour on that? Probably not. So just kind of take that into consideration. Some of these things are very labor intensive, and sometimes at the end of the day you say, well, I spent all day making this and I'm only getting X number of dollars. Management, who is going to manage, who is going to take in the money, pay the bills, make sure that all the licenses are renewed, those kinds of things. It may be you, maybe you can assign that to someone else. Maybe you can hire the person in this class that's going to be doing bookkeeping for other people. Maybe. Financial projections, you know, this is taking all of your inputs. If you're subcontracting with someone else, or if you have to buy a piece of equipment, and if you have to make a payment on that, we'll get to all that. And then your balance sheet. And Nichole and I are going to have a special session on balance sheets. We're telling you right now, it will be toward the end of the month. When we get to those sections, we're going to have an independent, another whole section on some of these financial statements, because not everybody will either want or know how to do it. And we just want to make it easy.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Marianne, I believe it's, you and I were looking at the tentative date of October 26th.
Right. So on October 26th, if you are interested, we will have the same Zoom open to go over some balance sheets. So if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal. So I just kind of wanted to get in some of these quotes about business plans. I like this one. I don't like to be dreamy. I like dollars and cents. I'm sort of a, economic kind of person. Maybe it is a dream of yours, but at the same time, you don't want to spend a lot of time and not get a reward of some sort at the end. So anyway, if you go to a bank and you tell them that you need $50,000 for your dream farm or your dream business, when they hear that word dream and they start glazing over. So make sure that if you're asking for money, that you are serious and that, they're going to lend to you on repayment ability. So it's just one of those things that I kind of found when I was looking. So does anybody have any questions about this business plan? If you are going to do a production agriculture plan, I would probably provide you with a different template. This is a good template, but if you're going to do production agriculture like a beef farm or a dairy farm or something like that, this works good for processing. It works good for businesses that supply a service, or, it works good for widgets, anything that you're making. So, not jumping ahead, the pages that you can do are probably going to be pages, at least page 2 and part of page 3. For now, you can look at that over the week and perhaps page 4. But just don't, as we get into this, try to figure it out as we go along. So generating ideas and talking about resources, I'm going to be turning this over to Jim to talk more about the resources that you are going to need for your business.
Thank you. And before I get started, Amanda has a question for you, Marianne. We can't really do chat in this room, so why don't you go let her ask the question.
Okay.
So you said that you had a different style of business plan for like people who are talking about producing beef or things like that. And I wondered if we could get access to that style as well. Yes.
It is the one I use is from Cornell University, and I can, if you would like that, just let Jim know or email me for that.
Okay.
I can send that to you.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Thank you.
And anyone else that wants an alternative business plan.